People of the Purple Butterfly here, otherwise known as People7 on Twitter and YouTube, people elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com, and my soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com, and my t-shirt designs, purplebutterfly-people.tmail.com. And have you ever had a favorite nail file that was your go-to, that you've had for years, and even though you have a whole bunch of other nail files, this one is your favorite, and then this happens? Yeah, I'm going to show you how to fix that. And I'm going to start with this side, and I made notation of what kind that is in case I ever need to, resurface that. But this board here, that's the base of it, or the spine as they call it, lasts for years. The filing material itself might not. I've had this for at least 5 years. So it came with my very first nail kit, which also had a drill and so forth and so on. That's the only reason I know the time zone. But that's my go-to. I had one before that one that I repaired, and I repaired it incorrectly, because what I did was I took glue and stuck it down here and then stuck it on the base, and it made little puckers on the surface of the file, so when you filed it wasn't even. So that was a wash. So I'm going to show you the right way to do it. First, you're going to need some Mod Podge, any kind, and maybe some scissors if your Mod Podge happen to solidify on the top. Yes, ma'am. Okie dokie. Okay. If I tell her I'm not actually watching the TV show she's watching, she'll fuss. And if I tell her I am watching the TV show she's watching, she'll expect me to just fill in all the details so she don't have to watch it, and then yell at me when she asks me questions, and then I answer the questions. So basically, I just say, okay, okie dokie. They can't yell at you for agreeing with you or disagreeing with them if you are neutral. No, they can, but it won't work. Now, what you're going to do, hold on, let me get a paper towel and get rid of that glue, because you're going to want this smooth, okay? Now, this one, I'm going to lift that completely up, just not all at the same time. Okay, what you want to do is put the glue on here, right down the middle, and then press it out to the sides, but don't go over the sides, so that way when it's time, you could push it into the sides like that. But you don't want to get too much on there, and you don't want to get it on the foul part. So let me do this, hopefully without making a mess, while I'm wearing my favorite jeans. See? Now I'm going to line that up. See how it's coming out on the sides there. Yeah. So you want to try to minimize what's coming out on the sides. And if you do, just kind of smooth it. You don't want it on the surface of the file itself, because that's when you run into troubles. If it seals on top of that file, you're going to end up with a very smooth spot, which would be the opposite of, a rough surface to file. I just went ahead and took that off so I could line it up. And it's already starting to solidify, so I need to work quickly now because I used a very, very thin coating. But what you want to do is line that up. Line it up. Then press it right in the middle where the emblem is and smooth it down. And then any that pops off the edge, smooth it. But don't get any on the surface because, well, that would kind of defeat the purpose of having a nice rough file. That one's my fine grit file, so it wouldn't matter if it got on the top of that, but yeah, you don't want that. And this one is the medium grit, so that you can get away with it, but yeah, you don't want that. So now I'm going to take a paper towel, still holding it in the center because I got it lined up, because this will shift, and I'm just going to dab it and get rid of all the extra glue that's popping off. And that also keeps it from shifting because it will shift. The surface stuff, this is like, it's hard to describe. It's like a combination between silicone and foam core. And then it's got a hard plastic shell in the center. And here's a spot that was actually a buckle that was from when it folded, making sure I smooth that. Now ideally you would leave this for 20 minutes before you do the other side, but I'm not going to do that because, well, I was in the middle of doing my nails when they decided to split, literally. So now I'm going to do this side. And I'm going to do the same thing that you just seen me do. I'm going to take some Mod Podge. You can use a brush to do this too. I just happen to have my fingers, and that's all I'm using is just my fingers and some gloves. Because I'm using what I got. Yeah. You could also do this with E600 or E6000 rather, if you want a really, really good seal. Mod Podge is really good, but sometimes because of what the surface is made of, it may or may not hold. But I've gotten it to hold on more than one occasion. It had to have a cure time attached to it, but I got it to hold. And that's all at the time. So after that, and the initial file that I needed it for, then I just went ahead and sealed it in and gave it a couple of days, and it was back to normal. And it lasted for another year. Okay, now another thing that I'm going to need to do is take a book or something, put it in there, and just kind of mash it down. But yeah, that's now back in one piece, and the part that was folded is still smooth right now. So yeah, that's my little helpful hint for today. Man, it's hot in here. Even when it's 60 degrees, certain people want the heat up to 80 because they feel cold all the time. So, yeah, I'm going to close off my heater and let them percolate or hibernate or incubate or whatever they're doing with all the heat. That way I can be comfortable. But in the meantime, we're going to this color. It's called Pouring My Art Out, and it's a gel. I took off my nail tips, so basically I'm using, because my nails are still soft to the touch, and when I press they still hurt, but I found out if I put 3 coats of gel polish and nuke it, I go like this all day long and won't feel it, which is going to help me in getting my nails back to full strength and health and all that, because when I put acrylics on it, with it being in its weakened state, it's just causing me more grief because the nails keep popping off and stuff. It's like the dehydrators aren't even helping to keep the nails attached to the nail form, so then they lift up and pull off and causes sensitivity. And if you already have a sensitivity because of a medical condition and you use nails to protect from the medical condition and then they pop off, now you got an exacerbated problem with the same condition that you started out with. Yeah. Now I pressed it completely, and that's the only glue that's left. And now that's gone, and we'll just do that again. Yeah. This is my Ace Vivi box. I've used it for many things other than just storing my hair straightening brush. It makes a perfect size for a face soap, so I've used that as a mold as well. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go put this on something that will weigh it down, like the Mod Podge box and a few other things that have some weight. And I am going to tell you, give it a try. I mean, if it doesn't work for you, hey, you only spent $1, so you know. But I don't like running out of things. I don't like having to replace things if I couldn't save something that, you know. I mean, hold on, I'll just show it to you. Give me 1 second. In my manicure box, I have all kinds of files. Okay, so that's not the problem. The problem is, and I have the E-Nail Couture files. Those are really good. I have OPI files. I have every kind of file that my nails are happy with. But the Nuvo, hold on. The Nuvo Nail Professional, that has been my go-to file forever. And I have several brand new Nuvo Nail files. But that one is the one that it's like my hand is melded to it. So that's my go-to. So if something breaks, fix it. If you can't fix it, then get a new one. You know, that's the way I've done things, and I believe in recycling and upcycling. So if I can't fix it, I'll just use it for something else or in another project or whatever. In the meantime, this has been People7 on Twitter and YouTube. People are elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. My soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps, can be located at people.etsy.com. And my t-shirt designs, Purple Butterfly-T-Mill. Okay, I lost my train of thought. My soaps can be located at People of the Purple Butterfly is signing off. People7 on Twitter and YouTube. People are elsewhere on the internet. My blog is located at purplebutterfly-people.blogspot.com. My soaps, Purple Butterfly Soaps can be located at peepla.etsy.com, and my t-shirt designs, purplebutterfly-peepla.tmill.com. Yeah, we're back to that distracted thing that happened one day last week. Somebody said, "Are you about to have another stroke?" I went, "I hope not." I guess they expected me to say yes or no, but when I said I hope not, they went, because, well, that was a very honest answer, and they wasn't ready for that. Anytime you've had a stroke, you're at high risk for a stroke, and one of your primary symptoms for a stroke is the fact that you had a stroke. So, yeah, that will be the answer every time. I hope not. Somebody asked me if I bought a new penguin pot. This is the same one. I just simply took the paint off of it. It actually made a little discoloration right there. So now my penguin logo is pink. I thought that was kind of cool, so I left it that way. But yeah, I'll probably paint it again or give it another skin or whatever. And now that I have gel nails, I'll probably paint it and then nuke it. That way I don't have to wait 3-4 days for the paint to dry. So yeah, if you're going to have a white background, might as well decorate it, because plain is boring. I didn't want a black background simply because when I saw the white one, I thought that would look good with some pink paint, and the pink paint color that I generally use won't show up on the black one. So yeah, then you have to put layer after layer after layer, and then it'll still not show up. It's like right here, if you look really, really close, you can see where the paint was on the edges. Nobody can tell unless they're really, really looking for it. But everywhere else I had paint, it shows up simply because it's a white background. Gray also is very good for painting too. So if you're going to paint something, I learned that when I wanted a car that's pink, and I was going to buy a black car, and they said if you're going to paint it, you want white or you want gray, because that will reflect the paint back onto the surface and give it a shinier or brighter finish. And I went, good point, good point. So I have a silver gray car. And at some point in time, that car will be pink or purple pink or magenta, some bright color that will make me giggle. Y'all stay blessed and stay tuned. Bye now. P+7.